All right, everybody, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and this game's coming out of the Tavern's Mug tournament. It's going to be a best of three, and playing in the blue Celestial, this is you, hiding his arc ship off on the side here. And his opponent in the red Infernal, this is going to be Snoxtar. And already we see a real interesting opening for Snoxtar as he's gone 2 production buildings plus a farm opening before his shrine. And his Hexen is already out on the map. She sees the Purifier. She sees three prisms working away on Luminite, none on Therium. We now see you move one back to Therium. The Purifier, of course, creates a prism, but that prism, it looks like, was sent initially to do Luminite. We have a second array on the way. And Snoxtar using those early units to start creeping here. No Gaunts yet out of the Conclave. Just that early Brute. And gonna let it go down while creeping here. But ends up with 5 Fiends. 3 from the Skulls, 2 from the Brute. And we're immediately going into a Ritual Chamber here. Again, still no Shrine. There's our Imp for the Shrine. And it's early creeping is what Snoxtar's going for in this game. And you back home, looks like first Starforge on the way here. Creation Chamber up in the main, but just on the 2 bases here. And Snoxtar's now cleaned out the speed cap and is moving across the map. Pumping out 4 Gaunts right as he does this. Going to go for the extra speed cap, but actually sending 1 feed up to see what is there in terms of a defense. Fiend's actually getting all sent in to attack a power bank, while the rest of these units here deal with the speed camp. And a Sarvin's Watch was called, so the Fiends did have to get pulled back, and it looked like most of them did die there. The first Vector's out, and the Sarvin's Watch is still on cooldown. It gets a couple more Fiends, but then it is done, and Gaunt's up here. Another Sarvin's Watch called. That's just more power being spent. A couple of Gaunts go down. 3 Gaunts go down, actually. And pretty big losses for Snoxtar here in this opening skirmish. And Yu's just hoping he can survive this. Get out enough Vectors. Is there another Sarvin's Watch? Not yet. Not yet. And if these power banks start going down, there might not be any Sarvin's power for Sarvin's Watch. And look at this. 1 Brute chasing the Vectors away so the rest of the units can just go to town on the power banks. Go for the Prisms or the Purifier. Now Gaunt's chasing the Vectors away. Another Sarvin's Watch comes out, and now Gaunts are going to start melting. And sure enough, they do. A Purifier goes down. But the Sarvin's Watch is going to clear up these effigies too. And Snoxtar just walks away. He says, fine, if you're going to cast the Sarvin's Watch, I don't have to fight under it. Maybe I'll come and regroup over here, take out this Vision Tower, get a little bit of income from it. While my reinforcing units catch up, an extra Brute shows up. Another one on the way. No, this is an Imp. This is an Imp. And the Vectors are out on the map, which is maybe a little bit aggressive because, yeah, Snoxtar didn't really go anywhere. And he's doing his best to chase the Vectors away. I like it. Splitting his army a little bit, so some units are just doing damage. Power banks going down, and the Brutes aren't getting a lot of hits on the Vectors, but they're keeping the Vectors busy at the ramp while buildings are going down. This Starforge is about to go down, and the Starforge is where the Vectors are coming from. there is another one up on the high ground there. And so far the Vectors have been doing a good job in terms of kiting. They've kept themselves alive, and that has been mostly cleaned up. Did that other arc ship, there's one going down now, so it either was killed or it got cancelled. I didn't see that. And where did Snoxtar come back to? He's got some weavers back here. And on a third base. Pretty aggressive from Snoxtar so far in this opening game. A nice lash to get a free vector kill. And the value of vectors is their efficiency. You want to be able to keep them alive through their kiting. They're not exactly units you're trying to trade out. Unlike, say, like a Infernal Force, where a lot of your units might be just used as fodder. That's not what the vectors are for. You want to preserve them as much as possible so that while you're building up a secondary army, maybe of Seraphim or Archangels or anything else, you can keep those vectors active on the map. Look at how speedy those gaunts are. Tried to catch that vector, but vectors are one of the speediest units in the game. Especially after their upgrades, they zip around. Manifest Shroudstone immediately, and these vectors have to pull into the base, which is not great. That means they don't have a great retreat angle. Managing to get down to the low ground. One of them unfortunately didn't get the zip message in time and got caught on the high ground and died. Another one going down to a lash. So Snoxtar getting some, okay trades here by snatching up a few of those vectors and keeping that vector number low, which means you's going to have to keep producing them. And do we see... Oh, there's our Legion Hall. Legion Hall with an Archangel coming out. What's going on over here? Oh, it's a farm, a little scout farm. I love that. That's like, hey, you trying to fly some Archangels over here? I've got a farm that will spot it. And a little creeping on the speed camp while creeping on the health camp over here for Snoxtar. Snoxtar's army looking pretty big now. Remember, the vectors can kite for days, but if you have a large enough army, it can just sort of sit there in your base, as we've seen already, and do damage while you're trying to kite on the fringes. And Hellborn being added now. Of course, Hellborn, the favored unit for Infernal in the current patch, current meta. And vectors on their way out again. Archangels in the air. Morphcore. Thought it might be another Archangel, but no, we have Archangels splitting. One hanging out here, nothing there yet. Another one coming down here. Oh, gets caught by some Hellborn and retreats. Vector's over here trying to chase off the Fiends, while another Archangel trying to find an angle to attack in. Here it comes. There's a nice, well-positioned Wraithstone there. And immediately pulling from Snoxtar, he sees the Archangel. And here comes some Shadow Flyers, actually. And the Archangel just zoned away, like, doesn't want to Meteor Strike into the Shroudstone, or into the Wraithstone, I should say. So instead goes to take this tower. And where did our other one... Our other Archangels are hanging out with the Vectors over here. And now Snoxtar is going to try and take this base back. And by base, of course, I mean camp. And we see you coming around. Archangels in the air, trying to get some meteor strikes. They do manage to get one imp. Now they're just going to look at how quickly that shrine goes down. Archangels standing in their scorched earth, and they just pick back up again and fly away. That base being denied, it going down immediately again. Shadow Flyers chasing the Archangels, hoping to get an impact. But they fly over the trees to safety. And Snoxtar's army, big but slow. Slow to react to these speedy harass units. And wow, there's a chance to take out some of these prisms. Prisms zoot away. But this Purifier is probably going to go down. But I like how Snoxtar is trying to reposition a little bit for the incoming army. Nightfall Infestation Woofs. Scan on the high ground. Archangels looking for a place to Meteor Strike. A couple of them going down already. They're very low. Taking a lot of damage from the Hellborn and Gaunts. And Snoxtar is emboldened. It is just going to push right up into the natural. Hellborn on the low ground. Because why not? They got angles from there. And the mine is down. The power bank's melting. The arch ship's about to go down too. And now it's just an army chewing buildings up while Yu is doing his best to try and get... There's that global Shroud fall. That's just sort of late game BM when you're winning. Might as well put Shroud everywhere. Huge Meteor Strikes finally getting down on the Hellborn and killing a few of them. And these Avatar mode Archangels are doing alright, but good splits from Snoxtar to keep his units apart and not necessarily being taken all that AoE. But that is still going to be GG from you in game number 1. And here we are back at it. This is going to be game number 2 between these two. Once again in the Blue Celestial, this is going to be Yu. And his opponent in the red Infernal pieces today, this is going to be Snoxtar. And then once again, Snoxtar going for that double production opening Vault Conclave. I'm imagining this is a farm. It's the same build that we saw from him last game, which was early aggression. And Hexen already across the map, and Yu looks like going for the same opening too. Purifier, but sending the Prism to mine Luminite. Going for a second array. Hexen sees it all. It's too late, she's seen everything. Fourth Prism going to Therium. And she's already off with her Brute Buddy to go fight some Shadow Mastiffs. And it's just a power bank here, so nothing, no fancy tech out yet. And we do have an imp waiting to become a shrine, but not yet. Waiting for those Luminites to ramp up. Just about. Got the looms, but looks like we're microing the creep camp first. There we go. Shrine goes down. And nothing else too fancy out of Snoxtar to start here. Notice he did pump out the 2 Gaunts this time. And that's different. He didn't go straight into Ritual Chamber. That's what he did last game. Whereas Yu does the creation into the Starforge. So we're probably going to get vectors, same as before. Brute goes down. Fiends microed away. Gaunts microed away. Way more micro than I can muster in my creeping. And the tower gets taken. That means center of the map now controlled by Snoxtar. Well, of course, early game is usually an Infernals game. And going straight for the speed camp with reinforcements. Another round of charges pumped out. And these units going to go down quick. Nice dodge of the AoE there at the end. The charge attacks. And grabbing the speed camp, and I imagine, like, this is the same as we saw in Broken Crown. Grab the speed camp, and, well, last time he went for aggression. This time he's pulling back to the other vision. I wonder. I think he definitely could have pushed in here and got some damage like he did in the last game. But choosing a different style, not noticing not having the plague axes might be the choice here. In the last match, plague axes would have already been done by now, and we don't even have. Oh, that's cool. The pauses are not recorded in the replay, so this is obviously being cast by replay. The Tavern's mug tournament is being played offline. Is that no? That's not exactly right. They're all. I don't know what I'm saying. They're all online, but they're not played at a fixed time. They're asynchronous. At least the early matches. I think the finals will be in a couple weeks or in a week. And stay tuned on the Discord for more about that. Or stay tuned here on YouTube, and more of my games will probably show up there. So far, Snoxtar is using that high ground. But we see these vectors scooting around to the low ground now. And I think Snoxtar got a whiff of that. I don't know how. Well, maybe he saw the vectors moving down here. And that's the value of controlling these vision camps, of course. And now both vision camps falling into U's control. And all of a sudden that's going to shift the power in this game, because the speed camps were also taken by U as well. So that early game advantage that you have as Infernal by being out on the map and getting control starts to dwindle as your army, your tier 1 army, is often cancelled out by whatever army the Celestial or Vanguard player is bringing to bear. It's usually faster, more mobile, and more powerful, and it moves to this mid game, whereas in Infernal you kind of have to be defensive or be literally in their base fighting on their ramp. And that pretty much goes until you have like a critical mass of Hellborn, and then you can be out on the map again. At least that's the current meta, that's how things flow, and Yu is taking that advantage right now by just floating back and forth on the map, doing his best to just keep control. Now, what do we have here? Oh, vectors guarding the back ramp. Now, is there a third? Yes, so we do have a third base down. I think Yu's economy is flowing much better this game. Oh, and look at this supply lead with a 44 supply lead. And now we're starting to see imps go down to this harass. A couple of lashes go down, so we're going to see two vectors go down. Maybe there was a third there I didn't quite see. I think so, because only 5 scooting around out the back here. So was that worth it? It's not clear. I'm not sure how many imps you got there, but lost 3 vectors, and that's probably did not get that many imps worth of damage. Archangels. Oh, excuse me. Vector's going to do creeping, it looks like. Well, the Archangels are going for some splish splash. Here they come. Boom! And now we're going to see imps going down. Ay, ay, ay. Don't mind in the short scorched earth. Oh, another one went down. So that was definitely worth it. 3 imp kills. Fiend gets spotted on the map and gets taken out. And what's this? Another Fiend? Yeah. Prisms can't do nothing about that. But here come a couple vectors. More Archangels out. Morph Core headed down south, going for 4th base. And Snoxtar's on 3 bases, but having trouble keeping them saturated, I think, right now. We're at 10 and 8 here. 10 and 8 here. But here come 2 Archangels. There's a greater Jerboa there that scouts them out. But no, sorry for the bad scrolling there. There we get some really nice Meteor Strikes and Scorched Earth, taking out some Gaunts and some Imps. More Imps going down, but Imps getting pulled out so they don't have to be all compromised by that. Oh, I thought they were going to walk right back into that Scorched Earth. Let's see how we're on 9 here, 10. So a lot of Imps went down there. And I didn't quite see, was there another one going down up at the top? Might have been. Might have been. But it's Vectors on a parade over here. That's what I call it when they're all in one long line like that. It's a parade. And in RTS, parades are not usually good unless you're doing a good old-fashioned bad-mannered parade of your workers through their base or something to, you know, showcase how far ahead you are. That kind of bad-mannered stuff doesn't happen as much anymore. That used to be something you do a lot in the old days. There's our Archangels chilling out the front. Are there only 2? We got another base here and another base here for you. So you is sort of on a contain right now is what I would call it. Hasn't done too much of the harass. Oh, here we come. Huge Air Force. When you get to this like critical mass of Archangels, then when you go in and do your harass, well, of course you're going to kill off all those workers, but now, like, they have to send their whole army to fight you, and if they do, they're fighting, you know, 7 Avatar form Archangels. Those are, it's not an easy thing to deal with. And meanwhile, we've got the harass on the high ground here, trying to keep them zoned, and then a ton of Scorcher. There's no one's going to survive this, Imps. The whole shrine is surrounded in Scorched Earth, and they just pick back up and fly away. It's just, bye-bye. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to come, but okay, a little bit of damage on some of these trailing Archangels. But once they get over this wall, it's just, they're good. And he can just put down and eat a cabbage. Meanwhile, up here, the Shroud Stone's gone down and another Archangel's come. There is a Wraith Stone here, which is helpful. But look at how these slow units have to zone back and forth to try and protect both sides. Making it very hard. And this shrine going down for the 3rd time now. And I like how Yu's just sort of, well, I'm just going to retreat back, go find my arc ship. This is when you really, he's got 2 arc ships. Send one of them forward. Put it in the center of the map. Float it like right around here. You know? And then you don't have to zoot all the way home to get those healing rays. Aeon Gates going down. This is this later game strategy to help move your army around a bit easier. Especially when you have bases like these around the map that are out of the way. So the Aeon Gate here, you can zoot in and then zoot out again. Of course, they can be used like Nidus as well. You can put it in your opponent's base. It would be clutch. Oh, I like how there's a Gaunt up here, but you can just throw it right down here. This is a great place to throw a farm if you're Infernal, so that you can scout that kind of stuff. Here's a little scout imp, we'll call him that, because he was planning to put down a base, but it now is dead. We're going to get a scan and a jump. Maybe not. There's a sense that you revealed these vectors there when he killed the imp. And he might be thinking, well, now there's an army down here. Now Snoxtar's in full defensive. Ooh. This mine's down. All these workers are idle. And he's got a nice little defensive positioning on his bases, but he can't get up to 4 bases and use on 5 bases. So... And Yu is not being aggressive with his advantage. He's maxed. And he's like, I'm just going to bank. Look at this. 5,000, 6,000. Okay, here he comes. Just going straight in. Saying, fine. I know only half your army is here, so I'm going to bring my whole army in. Go straight in. Go for those weavers. All the archangels hadn't been used yet, so as this other army wraps around, they just come down with their meteor strikes as well. And now they're all pretty low, and the Hellborn are getting some good shots, but they just pick up again and fly away. A few more going down. I feel like that went well for you. You is still maxed, and I think that's just because we're going to see a flood of more units pop out here. It's not clear which is the prime. Oh, that is the prime. So all these units pop back. We see scythes coming out now. Interesting tech switch. And all these archangels just trying to heal up. Oh, look at all these units popping out. I think I get it a little bit. The arc ships float here because this is where all the power banks are. So that when you get home, you can be powered up. Now, these units are headed out. Nothing to be done there, fiends. They're going to recapture some of these towers. But yeah, Snoxtar's taken this lapse to try and get a 4th, but has just fallen really far behind. Half the supply, and been stuck in this defensive form for... Oh, where are they going? They all popped out here. They take to the air. And did they remain invisible? I'm not sure how long this invisibility lasts. There we go. Like 30 seconds maybe? And here they are, invisible, flying right in. And spoosh, 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 spoosh. Bye-bye, Hellborns. All the Hellborn gone. Immediately manifest Shroud Stone, but it's taken out. All this static D is just gone. Just melted. Bye-bye Shrine. And yeah, this whole base is gone in seconds. Gone in literal seconds. Vector's trying to do something over here, but really all they're doing is buying time for those Archangels on the right to finish killing the whole base. And only a few Avatar form Archangels over here, that's all you need. One Magmadon shows up, and like I said, this base is gone, and that's GG from Snoxtar. Alright everybody, welcome back in. This one is going to be game number 3 between these two, and once again playing in the blue, flying the arc ship across the map here. This is you. Had to wait for it to fly into the scene. There we go. And his opponent in the red, playing Infernal, it's Snoxtar. And this is a best of 1. I didn't click my clicks. Let me click my clicks down here. There we go. Clicked my clicks now, and we can see that this is tied up 1-1. And we are in game 3. And Snoxtar's changed it up already to start us up here. Open Vault into Shrine. And the Hexen did do good scouting, meaning she went the right direction. And she saw what you was cooking. And what you was cooking was an array. So nothing too fancy there. And this is a standard opening for you, at least in this series so far. Nothing changed. Farm. No conclave yet. Another imp headed out. Where you going, Mr. Impy? Over here. And Hexen already creeping. Did she have a brute with her? She must have. She must have. And we're looking for base number 3. So Snoxtar's going for a more eco play and goes for the more mushroomy shrine that is closer to the Therium. We have a chamber creating a partial wall here by the health camp for you. Snoxtar doing speed camp next. And getting a nice advantage, early game advantage, as he has before, and sending these fiends out, and maybe, yeah, saying maybe I can get a chamber for free. And we need a Sarvan's Watch here. I think that's the only way you defend this. There's the Sarvan's Watch. And 2 fiends went down. I did like how the skull kind of was used to tank a little bit there. And if there were more fiends, I would say that Snoxtar could come back and kill this chamber. Now remember, celestial buildings heal very fast. But I'm also thinking a chamber is not the biggest score. The main reason this chamber was built was so you could build forges, and the forges are out already. So taking out the chamber doesn't exactly stop like Argent production because you're not making any Argent. Making vectors instead. We do have our Ascension Matrix with our recall tech almost finished over here. And so you now has 4 vectors out on the map. Got an extra purifier over here on the 2 arrays, fully saturated. No 3rd array yet. And we're on 10 and 8. I think that's Snoxtar's numbering there. We got 9 over here. And we got 4 on the close by Therium. Now remember, they don't have to walk. That one guy took a walk, but these 3, they just turn around and drop it off. That saves them. I don't know if that quite doubles their efficiency, but it certainly increases their efficiency. Especially when there are enriched nodes, as there are here. I wonder if they prioritize going to the enriched nodes. They seem to be. Now, what do you know about enriched nodes or not? If you notice, they come and they punch it, they swipe it, swipe or no swiping. They swipe it 4 times, and that's the enriched nodes. Otherwise, they need 8 on a normal node. Vector's in here taking out a farm, a couple lashes going down. That's a good trade for Snoxtar, getting 2 vectors. Oh, tries to body block with the effigy, but that vector does get away. Only 1 vector, but still maybe a good trade. Farm for a vector. Shroudstone in the back there. That's preemptive for those archangels that were a pain in the old Butchkey last game. We already have a Spire up. We do have Elder Shrine on the way. So Snoxtar ahead in terms of tech so far. And maybe Eco too. But use out here claiming the map. The health camps were taken out. I wasn't really watching the creeping style here, but the health camps all got taken by Snoxtar. But now these bigger camps are being taken out by you. That must have been Evolution Catalyst down here. Which of course is the celestial power that allows them to claim a creep camp for free. Or for power, I should say, not for free. And Snoxtar saw that a bunch of vectors were up here. And so he's moving his army forward a little more aggressively, and he's going to take this Ethereum. His health camp just respawned. And these vectors are, what, going to go for the energy, it looks like. Snoxtar could really be taking out that health camp now, and here he goes for it, yeah. And meanwhile, claiming this camp could be useful too, although a couple of vectors there. Almost want to spread some shroud down here too. I do, because when I sit in the health camp, I want my white health regenning as well. But Snoxtar might not be, you know, I maybe sit in the health cap more than a pro does. Pros rely more on the passive regen. And here we have Archangels going for the speed camp now. And Snoxtar is going to show up. Yeah, I don't think you want to dance inside those Scorched Earth there, but take the camp for sure. And you actually still with a bit of a lead in terms of supply. And I'm wondering, I've noticed that in Celestial armies, they tend to have the lead, even when they might not have the eco lead and so on. And I wonder if that's something about how supply is counted in Celestial armies. Especially in this composition, maybe, because we have a bunch of Archangels. And those take up a lot of supply. Did they tell me how much supply? No. I'm going to guess like 8. Maybe more. Okay. I don't know if meteor striking down some effigies is really the way to go, but okay. All that really did in my mind was draw the attention of Snoxtar, saying, hey, I've got some Archangels coming this way. So revealing the tech, but also stopping any surprise for getting into the imp line. And these units head over here. I think these are just defensive in case Archangels are zoning around. And part of the value of having units like this is not necessarily that they're going to kill the Archangel before it, like, attacks or something. It's just that the Archangel's auto attack is going to cause it to target on units over imps. So after it lands, if you have units there, unless it's being microed, the units will still save your imps a bit. Vectors showing up here, but like I said, these units here are on purpose, and the Vector's doing actually a really good job. But look how many imps or how many fiends are spawning out of there. These must be upgraded brutes. Let me see if I can grab... There's that brute. Yeah, double upgraded. So 4 fiends popping out of every brute. The vectors caused the army to be out of place, and now these Archangels take out the Shroud, the Wraithstone, I should say. I didn't realize Scorched Earth continues to do damage to buildings as well. That's cool. And I was wondering about this. The Harbinger seems to just be a flying scout unit here. And it's better than, say, a Shadow Flower. Shadow Flowers will try and suicide themselves. So the Harbinger can be used to just track and scout in the air. Super ninja base going down over here. And you had success with this in the last game with his ninja bases. So you, I think, is hoping to play that same style. Snoxtar's just in a much better economic position this game than he was last game. Up on 4 bases much quicker, much sooner. Has more Ethereum income. Could easily be getting this base up, but I think its proximity to you has caused him to not want it. We see more imps going down over here. And they look like they already have buildings in mind. Yeah. Bloop, bloop. And Alright. More defenses going down, but still not aware that there's this base on the low ground. FG's almost to the middle of the map. And Snoxtar's got a nice little Hellborn force here. And I like that he's sending some units over here to defend. As Archangels come in, I don't think these units can defend that. You need to bring your whole army over here. You need to cancel, and we do get a cancel. Probably need to cancel that vault too. These units and buildings getting taken out. Shadow Flyers smash! Did they get anything? It looks like no. And the Archangels fly to safety of the low ground. The Arch ship here still giving vision of the high ground. And no sound of that Sarvin's watch. Looks like we had another pause there. I wonder if that's because it was on the Aeon Gate that made it invisible, and so it also has no sound. Possible. Possible. But this harass force over here got turned into losing that base, and instead used trying to take advantage on the other side by hoping that big army's out of position, moving in on the Shroud Stones, the Wraith Stones, and trying to get damage done. There's so many vectors here, but it seems like they're not really doing much. And I think it's because they're engaged with units, so we're not seeing a lot of damage. They all have to retreat. They are low health, and they want to get under those healing rays of the Arc ship. But now we see this whole army is just pushing into the center of the map. It might go for the kill. Hellborn firing their fireballs down. Vectors trying to get some kind of engage here. I don't know if Snoxtar really wants to go up the ramp here. Taking out some of these buildings on the ramp might be okay, but going up the ramp sounds dangerous to me. A ton of Archangels here trying to get a good positioning, and they're going to fly in on the Hellborn. And here they go, meteor strikes right in the middle of all the Hellborn with so many scorched earth. Hellborn going down, Magmadon's fighting, Archangels caught in the crossfire of a ton of Hellborn. The Archangels are going down. Will they be able to hold? They cleared out the melee units, and the Vectors and Archangels are now pushing into the Hellborn. Hellborn on the left-hand side are going to be melted. And everything picks back up again. The Archangels are almost all gone as well. Last Archangel, very brave, tries to stay alive and dies. Dies. I said I wasn't sure about going up the ramp, but Snoxtar is. He's moving up the ramp. Bruce and Gaunt's leading the charge. Hellborn able to come in here, now able to rain their extra structure damage down on all these buildings and use base. Is going down, and I'm sorry my mouse got caught by my headphones there, but this base is going down. And wait, Snoxtar's retreating. Why? I don't know why. Moving to the middle of the map here and going for these. This is a more heavily fortified positioning with blast nodes. Luckily, one of the blast nodes is focused on these shadow demons, and they get taken out, which means this center base now. I'm sorry, you, but I think your game is over. But you're still in this because you has these secret bases over here, and he wants to make that work. Really need some spotting out here. These Aeon gates are just for free. Staying out here on the map. Same with this one here. This is free scouting. Vector's trying to take out this base. Oh, but here comes big old baddie dragon. And into the Aeon Gate they go. Still no vision over here. Like, I don't know. Drop a Shroud Stone or... Like, what do you need? Oh. Now you can see. What was the vision for? Oh, there's some shadow flyers. They got a giant big old eyeball. That's how you can remember. These prisms are like, we still want therium. We're mining your therium. We don't care. We're taking your therium. We're taking your therium, Lebowski. Dragon over here. He's like the defensive dragon. And now these units found this other base. And oh, Shadow Flyer's going in. But that didn't look good to me. That looked like a lot of sacrifice Shadow Flyers. And this is a brute army attacking into Static D. I don't like that. Not one bit. And Hellborn are here, so the Hellborn can help a lot. But not a lot of Hellborn to help. There's only 5, 6. There's Aeon Gate in the middle of the map. Now, Snoxtar definitely has the economic advantage. Although, look at Yu's bank. Maybe Yu's just thinking, I got 6,000 bank. Now, to have that bank, you need to have production to re-max. And since he is maxed, he needs to be engaging. How is this a maxed army? It doesn't make any sense to me. This is what I'm talking about, the Celestial supply. You got 5 Archangels and like 6 Vectors and you're at a maxed army? Oh, here's some Archangels over here too. Okay. I'm like, this can't be right. 10 Archangels still? Like, if their supply is 10 maybe? That's 100 supply? I don't know what the Archangel supply is. And then this is the problem, I think, with this kind of comp that Celestials have been using is Archangels are relegated to these kind of crappy harass units. What happened there? Why was there no Scorched Earth? That looks weird. These imps just chill in here. No avatar form or something. Something's going wrong here. These Archangels getting chased away now. Shadow Flyers find them. Getting some detonations, but Shadow Flyers are useless right now. Dragon's gonna take out this base. You doesn't really have bases left. What's this over here? Okay, Star Forges. Still with that Aeon Gate. But yeah, like I said, Archangels are these kind of harass units. You can't really use them to fight armies, it seems. I mean, they're really good. They get their initial, but they sort of like Magmadons. When you use them, they end up in the middle of the army, and that means they are perfectly surrounded and concaved, and they get killed very easily. That tends to happen with Mags, tends to happen with Archangels. And yeah, love the unit, like how it looks, love the idea of it, but its position in the game right now seems awkwardly bad to me. The front line punch you in the face unit is what I think the Archangels should be, not the we use them to kill your imps unit. Now you wants to, and again, Max, how do you not keep playing when you have 6,000, 1,500 and you're maxed, right? So you can't be like, well, this game's over. I have 7,000 Luminite and production and no one's in my base. Like, there's no reason to GG out yet, even though it feels like the game is over. I mean, for us, the observers who have sort of, you know, we can see what the map state looks like. We can see Snoxtar has grossly taken control of the whole map. And Snoxtar's not exactly maxed. But look at that Therium bank Snoxtar has. That's something that is valuable for an Infernal player. And as long as he can keep mining and keep you off the mines. Use mining here, not yet here. But really what Snoxtar needs, I think, is to just put down bases everywhere. I mean, he probably can go and finish this off at some point. But if he has bases at every mine, you will just get mined out and lose. Here we have a bunch of invisible units trying to show up. This could be the battle. This is what I'm talking about. Front line, and you got all these archangels. What are you going to do with them? Crash them in on everything. Wow, nice. Well, look at this spread out battle. This is when I wish I could zoom out more. But Archangel, wow! These Archangels doing pretty good. Down on the bottom here, it looks like is where Snoxtar's winning. But up at the top, the Archangels won. Now they've all ended their avatar farm. They have to pick up and fly home. That actually kind of worked out all right for you. The supply swapped out and used advantage here. I mean, you has always been maxed here for 10 minutes. But you remains maxed, and Snoxtar had like 100 supply eliminated. So, can you take this position and turn it into a winning position? I mean, maybe. If with a couple more engages like that. Because I think if you can wipe out some of these costly units. Here's the thing. Snoxtar has a bank of Therium, not Luminite. That makes it pretty hard to dump into anything. There used to be a time where Infernal units were mostly Therium expensive. But that's been changed a little bit. Our Mags and Hellborn now are way more Luminite expensive, and they've kept having their Therium costs depleted while their Luminite increased. So there's only enough there for like one Hellborn in terms of Luminite, whereas there's Therium there for 25 Hellborn. So it's the Luminite that Snoxtar really needs to get. Now here we have the Hellborn here. They're pulling back, but that's who needs to be targeted. Oh, a ton of Spriggans. I didn't see the Spriggans out. The Spriggans are out now, and they could be an interesting counter to the Archangels. In the air, they don't do well against Archangels, but on the ground, of course, they do well. Archangels trying to retreat. I think they need to turn and fight this. I think they do, but we're going to get free Archangels going now. More Archangels coming to the front line. Turn and fight, my friends. Turn and fight. One Animaster here, sadly taken out. And this might be it now, as the Spriggans and the Dragon are going to push in here. And yes, wisely, Snoxtar, go for the base. Go for the mining bases. These bases are dead. I didn't even realize. Go for the mining bases. Yes. And that's going to put down Yu's income completely. Now, U2 still has 7,500 Luminite. Now, what can he pump out there? A ton of Argents? Yeah, it's just not what you want. And where can he get the Therium from? He's mined these out. He needs that center of the map, which keeps being denied. Trying to send an array down. Oh my god, the poor arrays in the Wraithstones is flying so slowly. And yeah, bye-bye. The Archangels are trying to protect it, but no, they cannot. So Yu's position is getting much more precarious. I think Yu's game has been over for a good 10-15 minutes here. But the direness of it now is getting greater and greater. Going for Shadow Mastiffs to try and get some income. Of course, they only give Luminite. It's the Therium that Yu needs. And now actually the supply have swapped. We have a maxed army from Snoxtar up against half that supply from Yu. I don't think anything left for you to do except GG out here. because Snoxtar can just keep this as a big death ball now. And if you tries to do any harass on any of these bases, Snoxtar just goes and kills the army. And I love this, like, ninja therium mining. Because prisms carry 50 therium each. Oh, I didn't notice that he put a purifier down there too. Oh, but they gets caught. Prisms all going down. Morph core down. Purifier down. There's no more therium income now. You tried, but that was it. You tried. Oh my goodness. Well, Snoxtar, do it for us here. A move up the ramp and win this series for us. Array goes down immediately. Archangel's turn to fight. The Spriggans are on top of them. Archangels do good against Spriggans, but there's just so many. There's just a giant swarm. And that's GG from you in this amazing game number 3.